What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update as we just seen an explosion on the set of Fox News' The Five. We got Greg Gutfeld not being able to sit and stand for it any longer. We got that TDS syndrome taking over the body of Jessica Tarlov sub. She's got her saying some crazy things that the other hosts just can't stand by on the sidelines and let her say on their platform. Absolutely getting torched up in this next clip by Greg Gutfeld. He is going to call the balls and strikes how he sees them. He doesn't care whose side you're on. He's going to call it exactly how he sees them. That's exactly what happened in this next clip. That Jessica Tarlov sub got wrapped up in that TDS syndrome, that Trump derangement syndrome, that is. And she said some things that not even she could believe. Greg Gutfeld couldn't stand for, and he is lashed out, snapping on the host. I'm excited to get in the clip, see exactly how it went down. So we're going to get straight into the clip, and I'll get my thoughts on the back end, guys. So definitely stick around to the end. So let's get my thoughts on the back end, and also YouTube pushes this video out. Definitely stick around until the end, you guys. Let's get straight to the clip. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Remember when Donald Trump said that they aren't bringing their best? That was, of course, key context that they omitted from his elevator speech, his infamous Trump Tower elevator speech, or rather, coming down the golden escalator speech. Whatever, you guys know what I mean. For some reason, that was a part that the left really didn't want to include in their coverage. And maybe, just maybe, it's due to the fact that that might be a little bit of a soft point, a little bit of a sensitive point for the left at large, because I guess that statement or that sentence also seems to apply to them. And all of their ideological representatives in the media, they're a bunch of frickin' clowns. They're not exactly bringing their best. And that, of course, is why we have this ongoing segment. The left says the craziest things. Let's take a look at what these leftist nutcases in the media are saying this time. This one brought to you guys by Fox and Friends with Greg Gutfeld, Jesse Waters, and crew. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, apologies in advance. You're about to hear one of the most disingenuous talking points ever uttered from a human being.
January 6th was encouraged by Donald Trump.
When he said peaceful?
When he said, go down to the Capitol, I'm going to be with you.
Be peaceful?
All of his...
Why do you avoid that?
Because, Greg, that does not erase the months of rhetoric where he was encouraging groups to protest the results of this election. No.
You hate the words
he took away the... You hate a lot...
No, I'm actually saying what he said.
You ignore many of the words he said. And to bring this to today, though, the comparison... One of the reasons these protesters are out in the streets is Joe Biden is standing squarely by Israel. Joe Biden, John Fetterman, Tony Blinken, these are the people in the administration who are standing so squarely by Israel that a lot of progressives are angry at them. So the difference is Donald Trump encouraged political violence from his supporters on January 6th.
No, he didn't.
And Joe Biden is doing something these protesters are angry about because he's refusing to back away from Israel. And the one question he answered when he gave remarks last week was, have these protests changed your policy? And he said, no.
I don't think Trump ever encouraged people to get in other people's faces.
He
Democrats
did.
No, he didn't.
100%.
Show me that.
What are we going to dub this? CNN brain? MSNBC brain? Where leftists essentially formulate talking points and arguments based on totally false premises, omitting key facts, or in this case, a key portion of the relevant quote, Donald Trump told people to march to the Capitol. Well, I think you're missing an important point there. The part where he said peacefully, oh, well, that doesn't matter because of his pattern of behavior. Could you imagine being a defendant sitting in a courthouse and you hear from the prosecution side, well, it doesn't matter if there's evidence exonerating this individual, Your Honor. Just look at the whole history. What history exactly? Well, this person is someone that we don't like, Your Honor, and they've said things that are spooky and offensive. Therefore, disregard the exonerating evidence and just apply a twisted, corrupt bias this vengeful approach and simply just find the person guilty because we find that person to be reprehensible. You know, it doesn't get any more dishonest than that. The left operates within a world of hoaxes and lies, lying by omission. Donald Trump called white supremacists very fine people, with his very fine people on both sides hoax. They still say this. But then, of course, when you add the relevant context that Donald Trump explicitly said, and I'm not referring to the neo-Nazis and white supremacists, and when you confront some of these people with the clear facts, with the clear record, they double down on the dishonesty. Absolutely insane. And this isn't just any leftist, this is a leftist on Fox News, someone who has supposedly made it to the upper echelons of political analysis and commentary, and this is the argument in 2024 that Donald Trump incited a violent insurrection, that he sent his MAGA Chud army to the steps of the Capitol to overthrow the US government by telling people to peaceably assemble and peacefully and patriotically have their voices heard. How many times do we have to freaking fact check the exact same thing? A little bit of a broken record here, but come on, how many times do we need to clarify the record?
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
How many times have we fact-checked this, yet these people continue to go on? Look, I'm just gonna say it, only bad people act like that. Only truly dishonest, disingenuous, horrifying liars would act in this manner. But of course, it's not just the lies by omission, it's not just the purposeful twisting of context. No, of course, it goes even beyond that. It's also the clear, again, extremely dishonest, double standard. Well, Joe Biden didn't tell anybody to go protest. They're protesting against him. That's the clear differentiating factor between left-wing protests and right-wing protests. Give me a break. You know, leftists go on and on about how Donald Trump was so slow on the day, on January 6th, to condemn the violence. It took him an hour to release a message. Oh, an hour, you say. Interesting. It took Joe Biden over 100 days in the summer of 2020 to release a totally pathetic, weak condemnation of political violence, not to mention his vice presidential candidate, his then vice presidential candidate, launched a frickin' bail fund to get criminal rioters out of prison. The country was being burnt down to the ground by leftist agitators, and Democrats were fundraising to get them out of jail, to put them right back on the streets to reoffend, to do it again, to burn another neighborhood down to smither frickin' rains. Oh, but there's a clear distinction between Donald Trump and the Democrats. Yeah, it's just not the distinction that leftoids pretend it is. It's quite the opposite. Donald Trump has a track record of calling for the rule of law. Trump was the guy trying to send in the National Guard to protect cities, to protect neighborhoods from radical, out-of-control left-wing terrorists. And you leftoids are the ones who are saying stuff like, it's reparations, or it doesn't matter if buildings and businesses get trashed and burnt down to the ground or looted. They all have insurance. That's what you guys were saying. But Donald Trump apparently is the one who incited a mob. He incited a mob by doing what exactly? Let's let the genius left-wing commentator speak for herself.
Go down to the Capitol. I'm going to be with you.
Be peaceful.
All of his.
Why do you avoid that?
Because, Greg, that does not erase the months of rhetoric where he was encouraging groups to protest the results
Peacefully.
of this election.
Donald Trump incited violence by calling on his voters to protest what they believed and what they perceived was an illegitimate process, and that's apparently grounds for incitement to violence. No, that's calling for protests. And again, calling for people to peacefully and patriotically assemble so they can have their voice heard. Only a horrifyingly dishonest leftist can be this much of a liar, this much of a hypocrite, can apply this much of a dishonest double standard. Good on Greg Gutfeld for interjecting with the facts here. Holy frickin' moly. Leftists say the darnest things, now don't they?
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Liberal Hive Mind. I'll definitely be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below. For those who want to go over there and check that out, I'll ask you guys to go over there and show our friend Liberal Hive Mind a bit of love. Oh my goodness, guys. That Jessica Tarlov sub is working her way right out the building of Fox News, and off that set. I mean, before Jessica can even make her way back from maternity leave is what it looks like to me. You know, we got Greg Gutfeld not able to sit there in that chair and let her say the things she was saying, you know, making those egregious statements about Donald Trump, trying to say that, you know, he is the reason why he, you know, told those protesters, told his supporters to go down to the Capitol, you know, incite violence, which is not the case whatsoever. We've seen this, you know, time and time again. I don't know how many times we're going to have to go back to that clip. Donald Trump sitting there, you know, giving his speech and saying that go over there peacefully, and also patriotically, you know, and get your voice heard. You know, if you feel like you've been screwed over, what we just seen here is another way that the left continuously tries to tear down and tarnish Donald Trump's image, reputation within the media. You know, putting out these lies saying that, you know, he is a violent, you know, he has a mob, he has a militia that he can, you know, attack and sick on the government. And that's exactly what he did. You know, he organized his militia and he sent them over to the Capitol to, you know, cause trouble, which we all know is not the case, guys. Y'all know this thing didn't get violent until the police start, you know, antagonizing the situation, start poking the bear. And even then, a lot of the folks just, you know, they left, you know, they were getting, you know, walked around. We've seen the video, you know, they were getting walked around the building, escorted out, you know, most of them peacefully. And to be quite honest with you, I never seen when it went left, you know, I never seen it get violent. There is no video proof of them actually, you know, trying to tear down or, you know, attack police officers. So, I mean, honestly, that part of the message that she's trying to put out is just a lie. And I wish they would stop trying to lean on that whenever they feel like, you know, their statements, their stance is hurting. You know, they try to throw Donald Trump right underneath that bus and say that this guy is, you know, a violent dictator, you know, running this militia, you know, arming them to the teeth. And sending them to the cat. It just doesn't make sense to me, guys. That Jessica Tarlov sub better watch her back, because Greg Gutfeld will not sit on the sidelines and let her say whatever she wants to say, tarnishing Donald Trump because of that Trump derangement syndrome that she possesses. When she was going on that tangent to say that Donald Trump sent his voters, sent his supporters down there to the Capitol to be violent, Greg Gutfeld interjected, said peacefully, of course, peacefully. Don't forget that part. And then she goes on to say, you know, Donald Trump, in his statements in the months prior, you know, his messages to his supporters, was basically trying to, you know, hint at this should be a violent protest. And that's just not the case whatsoever. First off, Donald Trump does not support violence. He is an anti-violence guy, anti-war. So you would never get him, you know, enticing violence or, you know, trying to get his supporters to, you know, incite violence on others. It's just not him. And second of all, you can't say the guy is guilty of a crime or guilty of something because of his past, his history, versus actually having evidence of him, you know, on the time, on the date of the crime, you know, participating. There is no participation there with, you know, where they're saying that he is inciting this. It just didn't happen. And that's why he hasn't been found guilty. There's been no charges for that being brought about on Donald Trump. This Jessica Tarlov sub, I mean, she's dancing on a fine line, guys. You can't forget she's a replacement, not even a replacement, but a substitution. So, you know, if she doesn't act accordingly or isn't favored within the audience, I mean, this right here was a big slam down on her. You know, Gutfeld raining all over her parade, letting her know that her statements completely false and not true at all. She's trying to get those lies out, and it's not working whatsoever. We got Greg Gutfeld slamming her down. Didn't even need the other co-hosts to interject on that one. Greg Gutfeld solo, you know, 1v1 and tore her down. I'm not sure if, you know, the left, her audience, you know, they still try to, you know, watch Fox News, especially the 5, to get the left's perspective on what's going on. If she can't represent the left well, I think she may have to go, and that's what this is leaning towards. Jessica Tarlov can't come back any faster. I thought I'd never say that, but Jessica Tarlov can't come back any quicker. Kind of miss her, you know. She doesn't lie as much as this lady. I mean, she lies, but not as much as this lady. Yo, but definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this one. I think we're seeing Jessica Tarlov's replacement about to get replaced, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know how much longer you guys think she has on the set. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button and share this out to as many Facebook friends as possible, guys. Share the truth. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. It doesn't cost one thing, guys. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one. We go.